Hey, everybody. My name is Danielle, and this is Chatter Out Loud. Thank you so much for joining me. Your presence is very much appreciated. So, welcome or welcome back. Today, I'm going to chat about Hallmark's Countdown to Christmas new original movie, A Christmas Cookie Catastrophe. A Christmas Cookie Catastrophe. It premiered on Sunday, November 27th at 6 p.m. Eastern on the Hallmark Channel, and it stars Rachel Boston and Victor Webster. And the synopsis is as follows. Annie faces her first obstacle as CEO of Cooper's Cookies when Grandma's secret recipe is stolen. While investigating the theft, she works with local baker Sam to recreate the beloved recipe. All right, so this past weekend had so many movies. I was so overwhelmed with all these movies. Movies premiered on Hallmark Movies and Mysteries, Lifetime. We had a couple of Netflix movies. I watched so many movies this weekend. And at the time of this recording, I've watched all of the Hallmark Christmas movies with the exception of the Rockettes one. It's on my DVR, and I feel like I have to be in the mood for that one. I've also watched the Netflix movie Fantasy Football. And if you get a chance to check that out, that was really cute. I like that one as well. Plus, right before I sat down to record this episode, I finished watching 12 Days of Christmas on Lifetime, which is another good one. So there are plenty of Christmas movies for everyone. There's a couple on BET Plus. I don't have that streaming app, but they do premiere one or two of their movies on the regular BET channel, and I have one on my DVR that I have to get through. So needless to say, I'm getting my Christmas fill of movies or my fill of Christmas movies. Yeah. All right. And I can't review all of these movies, but I have been able to keep up with at least 2 full reviews and 2 rapid reviews every weekend for the Hallmark movies. So I hope you've enjoyed that. All right. Moving on, a few of these movies I was crafting while watching, right? I have a TV in my craft room and it's my happy place. Well, half of it is, or 3/4 of it is, I should say, because once the country was shut down, a couple of years ago, I began to use like a corner part of or my craft space and the wall, and that became my workspace because I work remotely. So anyway, as you can imagine, there's the potential to miss a few things when I'm watching and crafting. However, I don't think watching them will necessarily change my opinion all that much. At least I haven't seen it change my opinion in the past, right? More importantly, for this episode that I'm recording, I did watch A Christmas Cookie Catastrophe. I watched it live. I wasn't crafting. It had my undivided attention. And you know what? I liked it. So let's talk about the premise of the movie. We have Annie Cooper. She has big shoes to fill when she takes over as CEO of her late grandmother's small town cookie company. She's doing her best to help their struggling business with marketing and getting it back on track and the financials. But it's under sharp scrutiny by the board of directors, Miriam being one of them. And Annie's task is to get more daunting when her grandmother's recipe is stolen, right? And let's see, she tries to crack the case. So it's kind of like a mystery that's unfolding, and she tries to find the culprit. She's working with Sam, who's an owner of a local bakery. And in that, she's trying to recreate her grandmother's recipe. They don't necessarily get it right. They get close, but they don't get it right. And she's doing all this with the hope of saving the company and her job, right? Because she's under this scrutiny by the board of directors. And as Annie and Sam bake batch after batch, trying out all these recipes, trying to get close to her grandmother's recipe, they begin to learn that their lives go together like milk and cookies. So we get a little romance out of it too. Okay. I thought this was a good movie. I liked the story. It was kind of a mystery, like I mentioned earlier, sort of. It was like a who done it, who stole grandma's recipe. I had a sense of who the culprit was from the very start, and how they explained the why he did this. How they explained why this person did it was a little off to me. That part of the storyline I just accepted, but it, I don't know. It didn't really make sense, or it was too complicated, I should say. But it's okay. I found it too calculated to be true. I guess that's what I want to say, right? The why behind the person stealing the recipe, it was too calculated to be true for me. And so that's where they kind of lost me in terms of that part of the movie. But it's the magic of Hallmark, right? So I went with it. I thought that the performances were great. Rachel Boston, she did not disappoint. I really like her. Victor Webster had a great performance as well. These two leads had great chemistry, in my opinion. I found that the cadence of the movie went really quick. I looked up and we were like halfway through, right? So for me, it moved along nicely. I wasn't a fan of the two young guys at Cooper's Bakery that was always trying to be funny and doing the robot and all of that. I just thought they were kind of silly. So wasn't my taste. A few more observations. The gingerbread house for the school competition that Sam helped Bella, his daughter, with. That gingerbread house was so big and it was constructed so well. I especially like the candy cane mailbox. Yeah. Miriam and Annie's banter was a little intense for me for a light Hallmark movie. Annie called her stealthy. Also, when we first met Miriam, she was snarky and she made it clear that Annie's grandmother she used the term gifted her the cookie business. So we knew immediately something was up with Miriam, right? And how she felt about Annie being gifted the cookie business. I liked Sam and his relationship with his daughter, Bella. It was really cute when they danced in the kitchen to the Sugar Plum Fairy song. It was more of the traditional dance, unlike the guys in the Three Wise Men and a Baby, but still special nonetheless. I liked the mini stakeout. I thought this was really funny in the movie. It fit and it worked. And this is the mini stakeout with the IT guys, walkie-talkies. The IT guy said, when they began to start the stakeout, he said, "Sugar Plum, this is Nutcracker." I don't know. It was so cheesy. I just loved that scene. I loved everything about it. And then as the whole stakeout began to go left, the little girl said, "Mouse King can smell the cheese." Oh my God. It was funny. She's like, "Mouse King can smell the cheese." That was so cute. That scene was pretty funny and it was fun. And I laughed. I liked the whole whodunit and why in the movie. I found that to be important to Annie's character. We saw her change a little bit, right? Not that she was a Scrooge or anything, but she was softer once she wanted to capture Christmas moments and not strictly business, right? And with Annie losing her parents and then her grandma and her ex wanting her to be small, that can harden anyone. And it's like a barrier you put up or you create to protect your heart. And Bella and Sam certainly had a little to do with her being willing to open herself up to love again, softening her a little bit. Love can do that to you, right? I thought that was beautiful. The romance between Annie and Sam developed slowly, but it was nice. He was a little hesitant because he'd lost his wife a few years back and he was still holding on to her emotionally. So naturally, he was afraid of building a connection with someone new. And he always said he wants to put Bella first and didn't want romance to get in the way. But I did like their romance. I especially like the holding hands. I thought that was soft and that was sweet. I really liked that part. And how much Annie cared for Bella and was so supportive of her. That dance on stage when Bella froze, I was like, oh. Sam and Annie had a nice kiss, which is always important in a Hallmark movie. The cast was good, and I enjoyed the story. It was fun. And yes, we did get Christmas in the movie. The decor, the warmth of the holiday music, Sugar Plum Fairy, right? That's running through all the Christmas movies that we see. Baking cookies and their relationships. It was very merry. I recommend this movie. It's a good movie, and it's worth seeing. There were a few silly parts in the movie, but not enough to be obnoxious or anything like that. It was just the right amount of silly. And overall, I felt like the movie worked and I liked it. A Christmas Cookie Catastrophe. Have you seen the movie? What did you think? You have to let me know your thoughts in a comment below. And that's all I have, so be sure to come back and give me a listen. I'd love for you to like, share, follow, comment, and subscribe, all of which will help my channel grow, so thank you in advance. My name is Danielle. You're listening to Chatter Out Loud. Thank you so much for joining me, and as always, I appreciate your support. And that's all I have. Thanks again for listening, and I'll talk to you next time.